what we are looking at is most likely the best-selling handgun of mankind at all time. Glock 19, represented by Gen 5 here. Now this one has TLR7A from Streamline right now. An excellent choice for small light on a small pistol. If you want to get a TLR7, definitely get a 7A. So it has the lower switch right here. Much easier than the high switch. Let's do a safety check. Look at those front serration. This is FS front serration model. Look at the flare of the mag well, right? So there's no need for aftermarket. I plugged the hole by using a Viker Tactical. Comes with takedown tool, so it's handy. To make it also a little bit FDE accent. Let me know how you like it this way. I like it. Trigger is out of factory, out of box, ready to go. Again, no need for aftermarket part. Unless you kind of like the flat trigger, which I like too, but this one is good enough for me. Again, just a little bit take up to the wall, because fairly resistance to hit that wall. Then, pretty good. We say it's short and consistent trigger, not too spongy, much better than previous generations. And you see the large mag release here. See, this is the shooting grip. Don't have to change that. Smooth out and larger slide release, thin Glock. Finally do it, and on both sides too. Still factory plastic side, which I swapped to the side at the Meprolite. This one has the red dot to attach to it. I'll do a separate review on that. But the grip angle of Glock, which encourage you lock the wrist and grip down, set up naturally to migrate to the next generation pistol shooting. Aiming technique which use the red dots. Because when you have red dots on, you really need to grip it down. So to Mr. Glock's delight, this design works well. Propel Glock directly into the next generation pistol shooting without much fundamental change. And of course, as you all know, Gen 5 has the MOS modular optical system module. So if you want to do a red dots, buy that one. If you are iron sight person, stick with front serration only. Now Glock 19 has become symbolic of the carry pistol. Do you Glock 19 today, right? Just like, can you Xerox that for me? Could you please hand me a Kleenex? And why is that? Because I think the number one factor is the following. Glock 19 is the right size for most people. Let me repeat it again. Glock 19 is the right size for most people. It's not the perfect size for you or me, but if it's the right size for most people, I guess it's good enough. Coupled with Glock's reputation, the gun's availability, the aftermarket support, easy to operate interface, which has nothing else to interfere, no safety, no nothing, no decocker. Just pull the trigger when you are in need. It is accurate enough for range practice to get the satisfaction out of it if you know how to lock that wrist, Point down, lock it up. The side focus is all you need to do. It's light enough, smooth enough to carry. Look at all this smooth out for Gen 5. All smooth out. And of course, the capacity. Not to mention the reliability. If there's anything desired to be changed for Gen 6, it's probably the grip surface. Maybe a little bit more aggressive. Right now, it's very nice, but may not be enough for a lot of people. And I can also see some improvement to make the plastic side finally go away, or at least make it an upgraded version for consumer out of the factory, so they can pay more to get the nice side, iron side, something like that. One last thing for Gen 6, possibly improvement is the beaver tail cutout here, maybe more, I don't know if it would affect the mechanics inside, but maybe create more space here so shooter can even lock in the wrist even more. But again, I don't know if they would change fundamentally the endpoint and the internals of the Glock design, which is simple, proven, easy to manufacture, and easy to maintain. So all these factors make Glock 19 the best-selling handgun of mankind. So comment below, do you own a Glock 19? Back to 2000, 2001, when there are a lot of new gun owners coming to the market because of the social unrest and the pandemic. All they want is Glock 19, give me Glock 19. Where is Glock 19? And where I reside, you cannot get Glock 19. That's why Glock 19 is like cash. If you have Glock 19, you want to get rid of it, as long as you are not too crazy, be realistic on the price. Always some people will grab it very quickly. Right? Because why not? People don't mind to have another truck gun, truck pistol. Now let's talk about Glock. A lot of the things I'm going to talk is from this book, Glock, The Rise of America's Gun by Paul Barrett. I got it from Amazon, used the book. $2 with 1 cent change. Remarkable. It's a good book to have if you love Glock and you are fascinated by how it rise to dominate the handgun market. It's a must read if you are interested in that. But to know why Glock 19 is the best-selling handgun. You have to understand why Glock first. Glock is invented by Gaston Glock. Gaston was a humble son of a railroad worker. He and his wife live outside Vienna. He works at the local car radiator shop. But he and wife has this side business. They use a used press machine from Russia to make hinges for door, Later on, the business got expanded. And they actually got a contract with Austria army to make bayonet, to make knife and the sheath for bayonet for them. And this is very important because the sheath, the handle of the bayonet and knife is polymer, okay? So that's how Gaston wedge his way into the modern pistol. Is the polymer that he was already using, that material that he was already familiar. And also he already had access to the ear of Ministry of Defense in Austria. At that time, is looking for a replacement of their army pistol at that time, which is P38. I also have a P38 here. P38 can only hold 8 rounds. Got this heel release. Okay, 8 rounds. Do a safety check. Slide release. Now the safety here is sort of decock, like a Beretta. Once you put back on fire, double action. It's very hard. The first shot is horrendous. Very difficult first shot. Must be 9, 10 pounds, something like that. The following shot, though, is amazing. See how short that reset is? Amazing. I think it's shorter than Glock. And then it's light. I mean, P38 is a good pistol. It has its days, glory days, but it's, with its heftiness, all this safety, it looks antique. It looks outdated, especially the capacity, 8-shot capacity. It's only 2 more rounds than a revolver. So that's why Austria Defense Ministry looking for replacement. And the Steyr, which is an Austria company, has submitted its bid, but it failed spectacularly because it didn't meet the requirement. The requirement the Ministry of Defense set out is, okay, it has to be thinner than 1.2 inches, okay? It has to have less than 40 parts. It has to have a capacity, of course, more than 8 rounds. It has to be able to withstand corrosion. It has to be reliable even under the snow and mud. I mean, that standard is high. It's quite high. And they don't like safety as well because in their experience, most soldiers got confused, just like a lot of the new gun owners. They bought the gun and forget it, never practice. If they have safety on, at the time they need to use it, they probably forget about it, whether it's on or off. But most importantly, they want the pistol to be reliable because semi-auto at that time is not very reliable. Their standard is, okay, you got to have a service life of 40,000 rounds. And also, no more than 1 round per 1,000 for more function, okay? That's all they can tolerate. And at that time, Glock Gaston, he didn't have any experience. Heck, he didn't even own a gun in his adult life. But later on, he admit the very fact that he didn't know nothing about pistol works out to be his advantage because he can design the pistol from the ground up. Of course, after he talked to the Minister of Defense and then say, because he has been a reliable supplier. So the minister told him, okay, go ahead, why not? But you know what? We are not going to finance your prototype. You're on your own. So Gaston said, okay, no problem. At that time, guys, he was already 50 years old, 50. Knew nothing about the pistol. All he had is the knowledge of the polymer and the inside information about the defense ministry looking for a new pistol. So what he did, he himself is a mechanic engineer. He got a degree from a technical institute, sort of like a Polytech University here in the States. But after he got a go-ahead, he set out to buy all the pistol he can get his hand off. The CZ75, Breda 92, 6 Sauer, HK, you name it. And also what he did right away is to surround himself with championship shooters and military people, okay, very important. He got them all into his circle, start to design the next generation pistol. He has his own fire range in his garage, probably shooting into water or something. And every time he tests the prototype, he has to use his left hand, just so in case the prototype explodes, he still has right hand to draw, Truly remarkable. And how about the grip angle? He came up with the 22 degree, agree upon with everyone, which is also much, much steeper than most pistol at the time. So after about 6 months to 1 year, he submitted his prototype, filed the patent. It's his Gaston's 17th patent. So he named it Glock 17. Coincidentally, the pistol also holds 17 rounds. So it's submitted for test, The failure standard is 20 stoppage for 10,000 round fire. Guys, do you know how many failure Glock had? Standard is 20 out of 10,000 test fire for a prototype, by the way. Glock 17 had one. One, single, solo. That's about it. And it has 37 components, 37. It is simple, strange looking a bit, but is made out of the raw steel bar, one piece, no stamping machine, no nothing. All right. So he got the order from Austrian army. But the story did not end there, guys. Just like everything else, whether it's luxury good or chocolate or cell phones or clothes or car. If you want to make it big, you cannot do it without coming to the American market and conquer the American market. It's the number one market in the world, and more importantly, it is an open market. And at that time, Glock also ran into a transition period. Not long before that, FBI had this terrible shootout in Miami where the agents still using revolvers. So several agents got killed by assailant who was using semi-auto on their shoulder rifles. So American law enforcement is in need to transition from revolver, which holds 6 shots, to semi-autos, which has more capacity. And Smith Wesson at that time was not a good option. It's heavy, it's bulky, And all of a sudden, we have this Glock, strange-looking Glock, where hijacker can probably pass the security screen at the airport because so much plastic. It was nicknamed hijacker's pistol. And Gaddafi, dictator, also ordered it. Saddam Hussein, when he came out of the bunker, surrendered. People say he had a Glock with him. So are the ruler of Syria, Assad. They all order Glock. So it did not come into the US market with good reputation or good publicity. But sadly, in a lot of the market, bad publicity is still publicity. And the key is it's reliable and it's high capacity. So in one magazine, features Glock, the title is Plastic Perfection. Later on, Glock used that as Glock Perfection. And it started to get tractions with police department, some government agency. Later on, Hollywood also adopt. So Glock become a symbol of handgun. And the rest is history. It overcame the market by storm. It has very high profit margin, 65%, compared to 5 to 15% of other pistol manufacturers. What Gaston did right when he entered into the US market is he hired very good salesperson. Okay? This travel salesman who build relationship with police department, and all that. So Glock story is a true American story. It's a successful sales story, of course, with substance to back it up. Until today, with so many plastic guns in the market, Glock is still considered head and shoulder above. I love Glock's polymer. If you compare this to 6 hours, M3, M17, the 320 line, their plastic is a joke. I mean, this is solid, this is hard plastic. I like it. You can hold it yourself compared to other manufacturer. The Glock polymer is substantial. It's substantial. Now let's look at the first 5 shot out of the box. This is 10-yard outdoor. First 5 shot. These two are on me, but still within 10 ring. But this group, look at that. Just destroy the X ring. And this is the first 5 shot. For this little Glock 19, I mean, it's not little anymore. Consider how many micro pistol out there right now. But you know what? Micro pistol is not for everyone. Especially for new shooter. And when you draw, also, it doesn't necessarily smaller is better when you draw the pistol. So goes when shooting too. When you shoot a 9mm, it's not a strong round, so you don't need a huge gun like Glock 17. Okay, I think it's overkill, but Glock 19 is the perfect platform to launch 9mm downrange. It just is. I have a championship shooter friend. He won the champion, local shooting champion, by shooting Glock 19 generation 3. Okay, it's not even Gen 5, it's Gen 3. And the second time he entered, he got a second place, but he only lost 1 point to the first place, who used a CZ or steel. I think it's a tactical sport or a shadow, something like that. He told me his secret is to dry fire this at home, dry the heck fire out of it. Meaning he dry fire a lot. Never break, the pin never break, nothing break. And that's why Glock 19 is the best-selling handgun of mankind. Because Glock, the rise of Glock as a brand, and the physics, the proportion, the arrangement, the overall size of 19. So I think overall it's a great American story. It's a successful American story. You can deny Gaston Glock's gut, his determination, his curiosity, and his acknowledgement of himself not knowing enough to surround himself with people who know enough. And when he came to the United States, he hired the right business people, the right salespeople to make it happen. It's totally useless if a good product cannot get onto the shelf. So that's my rumble today. I thought I would never get a Glock 19 because I shoot Glock 19 Gen 3 before and I don't like it. It's horrible. The trigger is bad. Shooting sensation, not good. But boy, didn't I change my mind after shooting Gen 5? Now I'm proud to say, yes, I do own the best-selling handgun of mankind, Glock 19. Do you? Comment below. Please subscribe, hit like or dislike, whatever. Share it with your friend. Let's look at this perfect proportion one last time before we part ways. Look at that. Glock, the rise of America's gun. So long. Shoot safe.